Hello everyone, Positron taking a quick look at Drifting Lands. We have a bit of an intro here.
Event almost wiped out all civilization.
That says whipped.
Billions died. But humans and machines are resilient species. A few decades later, we were back. Back in the skies of a shattered planet. Bending the knee to corporations turned into totalitarian states. Or fighting for our survival. Traders, engineers, pilots. We are some of the last free men and women. We are citizens of the Ark. We live or we die together.
I wanted to let that intro play because the story aspect of this game is actually pretty significant. So this is a new game, just came out of early access actually, from Alchemy. It's a side-scrolling shoot 'em up with some, I would say, I don't know if roguelike, there's some procedurally generated elements. It's got a very Diablo-style loot system. I am playing this with a controller, and I'll have some things to say about that as well. But yeah, so you can check out here that, you know, this is kind of our loot system. We have various equipment. I also own 3 ships right now. I've only played as the Marauder, really. There are 3 different ship bases, the Sentinel, the Interceptor, and the Marauder. They all play very differently. Your Sentinel is your very heavy ship. It's very armored, has a lot of shield. But it has, I think, lower attributes? Or does that actually have higher attributes? No, it does have higher attributes. I think it has higher attributes, but lower base stats. The Marauder is kind of your mid-range, and the Interceptor is your light and fast, but very fragile ship. And each one has a little bit of different effects as well in terms of how focus works. And focus is a semi-important part of the game. You can upgrade those as well, and you can see here we have attributes, we have stat points, we have customizable skills. I'm actually going to switch back to my Marauder here. I've played this for a few hours, so this is kind of representative of that and where I am here. You see I have 65 out of 140 attributes available right now. I haven't gotten high enough rank to upgrade my ship yet to the next level, but and I want to show this off before we get into the game too. So we have like the skill system. There are a number of different active skills, and you can map them to these different buttons here. These are representative of the face buttons on like a PS4 controller, for example, which is what I'm using to play this. But we've got different effects here. We got this like flame blade, which is kind of like this forward attack. Detonation skills are like a point blank AE. We have a shield, a repair, a warp. There's advanced skills. I do not use many of these. I do like the ring a lot though. There's mines, there's spears, there's slowing, and then there's these passive skills as well. This one they kind of recommend you always have. Make sure you don't lose anything, because your ship can be permanently destroyed on normal difficulty or higher. I think it's the difficulty setting of that. I would have to double check that, but yeah. So I'll go in here and we'll start a mission. I'll talk a little more about it as we play here, and let's see. Grade 1. So as you go up through the ranks, each grade has different attributes too. So you see here. Enemy damages range from 100% to 200%, enemy toughness 100 to 300, and the reward 100 to 145. If you go up to rank 2, those values increases. There are more enemies, and enemies also have suicide bullets, as they call it. They release bullets when they're destroyed, which makes things a lot more hectic. We'll start with an easy mission here. Actually, yeah, we'll start with an easy mission. I'll show you off some of the story stuff as well. I might not go through all 3 of these missions, but yeah. So one thing I'll say too is the game is very, very pretty in my opinion. I think it's absolutely gorgeous, and the soundtrack is fantastic. I would kind of call the soundtrack some sort of strange mix between, like, I mean, this is gonna out me as an old person, but it's kind of like Megadeth and Dream Theater and Infected Mushroom, like, all together. It's hard to explain. It's really good though. Now I have actually turned down the music a little bit because I feel like the audio balance is a little strange by default. I find it very hard to hear a lot of sound effect feedback, I guess I'll say. I should not have flown through that. I'll repair up here. So you also notice me using kind of my active skills to do a lot of damage. The weapon I have right now I'm not a huge fan of. This is the dual Gatling weapon. It's okay, but it's got kind of a weird spread on it. So you can see here that this ring, this kind of glowing bit, this is our focus ring. So as the, oh geez, this is the Marauder ship, I believe. Oh, I am actually taking a lot of damage here. As the Marauder, the way you gain focus, and focus increases your multiplier in terms of how much money you get, basically. Yeah, this ring will appear and it'll move around. The longer you sit in it, the more you charge up focus. For the Interceptor, it's bullet grazing. If you've played bullet hell shooters, if you get close to bullets, that will increase that meter. And for the Sentinel, I believe it only increases as your shield is recharging. So you're essentially intended to take damage. You'll also notice that there is some foreground objects happening. There's some objects kind of moving through the foreground every so often. You're wondering like what those blips of like almost like blackness are. That's what that is. You can actually turn that off. They actually patch that in and turn that off, which I think is really cool. I really appreciate that. You can also turn off screen shake as well if you're not into that sort of thing. I think it's a cool effect and it hasn't really distracted me too much, so I've kind of left it on myself. There we go. So, I mean, if you've ever played a horizontal scrolling shooter, I mean, you kind of get the idea of the basic loop of how gameplay works. I will show the second rank stuff as well. And I'm not playing great, but they give you a fair amount of wiggle room. Oh, I've never seen this enemy set before. That's interesting, these hovering, this rotating set here. So you can see I have this ring. That's one of my skills. The shield's another, I can absorb bullets. I also have this explosion skill, and I have repair, which I probably shouldn't have used there. I also have something that's giving me that killing streak. It does have a cooldown on it, but if I keep killing enemies in a certain amount of time, it gives me more money. One thing I will say about the game is I found it very, very overwhelming when I first played. Oh geez. Fortunately, I am pretty beefed up in terms of equipment here at this point. I did find a legendary, or I guess I would call it a legendary, like shield piece that is helping me a lot here. You see too, the enemies are dropping like these little bits, weapons and armor and credits and things like that. Alright, so we could actually go to the next area, and maybe I will as I continue talking here. One complaint I will also levy is that while it is controller based, I feel like navigating the menus with the controller is really not ideal. In fact, I often find myself switching to the mouse just to click on things because it's just very slow to move it otherwise. It doesn't kill it for me, but it is a minor annoyance. And I kind of overall have some mixed feelings about the game. I feel like the audio balance could be a little better. There's some things that don't feel very punchy, I guess I would say, which it feels a little strange in that sense. The audio feedback is a little odd, but that's kind of been a minor thing. Hasn't kept me from playing it really. I would like to see more enemy types early on as well, but once you get into the later ends of rank 1 and into rank 2, there seem to be quite a few different enemy types. And I believe that these levels are somewhat procedurally generated as well, so I haven't seen a lot of... they're all open levels. There's no... I haven't run into any sort of terrain things yet. But that does make another note that sometimes it's a little difficult to tell what's foreground and what's background in terms of enemies. Enemies often fly in the background. Sometimes it can be a little hard to tell. If you're not used to what the enemies look like up close, they can kind of fool you. So, oh, nope, my shield was not ready. That was a bad idea. And I'll hopefully get to show off kind of some of what the crafting system and such looks like. Well, crafting system is that you can get blueprints for some items. You can also turn items into blueprints. So if you want to try to basically re-roll an item or buy a particular item, you can do so by creating a blueprint, and it just costs money. However, money is also what you use to upgrade your attributes as well. So I've spent most of my money upgrading my attributes. Figure try to max out a ship before I go any further with that. I also feel early on that I'm not really in a lot of danger, but that changes a lot if you're lower geared on the earlier levels, and especially once you get into rank 2. I found I've actually been frequently in danger. A lot more bullets, a lot more enemies, a lot more hectic. And there are essentially 100 levels in the game. There's 10 ranks. Every rank has 10 difficulty levels associated with it. So given that I'm already finding a challenge on the second rank, I would certainly be interested to see what the highest rank is. There's also a leaderboard system with different challenges and stuff. If you want to compete on the leaderboards, which I think is pretty cool. I hope to get to some different backgrounds as well. There's a fair amount of different environments that I've gone through so far. Alright, this minefield is actually pretty nasty. Mines are pretty tanky as well. Let's see if I can just charge through here. There we go, yeah. This fire ring is probably one of my favorite abilities that I've used so far. The default flame blade is pretty solid as well. Now I think if we go to the end of this next level, there might actually be a boss at the end of it, so that would be a cool thing to show off. Or the game calls them Guardians. I believe also the fire ring I have right now also does a health leech sort of thing. It deteriorates over time, but it also restores my health. Each skill seems to have multiple modifiers. As you get to different ranks, you can unlock more of these modifiers. So each one of those skills is kind of the base skill, but then there are different modifiers for it. I think it does the same damage, but it works a little differently. At least in terms of the firing, that is. I actually forget what the significance of the explosive ring one I got was. I think it might just be more damage. But the life leech is certainly, helping me not die here. I also have the shields just do regenerate over time, right? Yeah, I think we'll go for the third level of this. Now, I think if I fail, I might end up losing some stuff here. It looks like we're gonna have a different background here too. We're gonna kind of have this stormy area. Yeah, I really like this one.
Killing streak.
I also find this one's a little easier to parse what's going on. We also do have, you can see these suicide bullets. So these are actually happening in this level, even though this is a rank 1 mission. Basically, literally every single enemy we destroy will fire a bullet, kind of in our general direction. It's not happening on the lower enemies. Oh yeah, it is happening on these guys though. So at some point it's definitely, oh no, it is happening on all the enemies in this level. So that's kind of sketchy. Yeah, so sometimes you definitely want to not do what I'm doing and actually stop firing, which is kind of a funny thing to think about. You normally don't think about that in shooters. Why would you ever stop firing? And I do have an upgrade to... Well, these aren't doing suicide bullets, good. I do have an upgrade to my repair skill as well, so it heals more, but it just does it over time instead of instantly. So it's a little less of an emergency thing, and more of a power thing if I can keep myself safe while I'm healing. Now I could avoid a lot of these, but I'm trying to get a bunch of money here. Obviously the little ones are worth less in terms of my combo as well. And I am trying to get the focus up. When you get hit, you do lose some focus. There's actually one of the passive skills will absorb a hit for you at the cost of half your focus. And I was actually using that one for a while, kind of as a crutch when I was learning the game. And I think it's actually a really solid skill for learning. And, oh, geez. Okay.
Killing streak.
I will say too, the skills do a good job of making you feel strong. Like you have ways to deal with, oh my god, various situations. That was a little close. I can manually evacuate here if I need to. Alright, so I think we have a boss coming in. Here we go. Yeah. So this was actually the first boss I encountered. So this is kind of like a refight, basically, that we've unlocked.
Killing streak.
This is actually going to be fairly... Oh, I actually died. He actually crashed... Oh no! I died, but I had to revive. He actually crashed right into me. Damn. Yeah. You're lucky to be alive. Ship is lost and nothing can be retrieved. Huh. Wait, is that true? No way. What? Oh, is that... Wait, why did my automatic retreat not go off? That's interesting. Is that a matter of that that mission type? Nope. Nope. Yeah, I'm honestly not quite sure why that happened. Because I actually had, I'm pretty sure. Boy, if I didn't, that's totally my bad. Well, this is an interesting little blip in this video. I guess I'll purchase a new ship. Bummer. That's kind of rough. Yeah, I guess I'll purchase the standard Marauder again. And, oh, it's not gonna have any of that equipment or anything. Is it true? Is it possible I didn't have automatic retreat on? I'm actually gonna check that for the purpose of this video. Okay, so that was actually a bit of user error. I did equip the second wind perk, but because I had this perk, it puts a 40-second cooldown on automatic retreat. So when this triggered, it put the whole skill on cooldown. So when I died, that was it. That is actually very interesting. And I'm going to leave that in. I'm not going to like re-record this video or anything. I think that's super important for people to know that that can happen. Boy, that's a lot of... Like, how much would it take for me to get back up to kind of where I was? I did not expect that. I was kind of relying on that other skill. I guess I can actually make it back pretty close to where I was if I spend a lot of my my money here. And I'm actually kind of doing this too because I would like to do a rank 2 mission as well. Let's see. I would like this. Do I have to rebuy this skill as well? Oh, I do. Huh, that's... Oh, no. Okay, I never bought this one. No, that's fine. So we'll get this. And for auto skills, I will take Killing Streak. So I actually don't think I want Second Wind here, because that's pretty risky. Let me see what a... Oh, I'm going to have like a level 1 weapon, huh? I don't really have much money right now. Let me kit out. Well, boy, that's a bummer. This turned out to be a much different first impression than I expected. Because I'm actually thinking now, like, I don't have a means of going right back to that level because I haven't leveled these up. I I guess I should have known that that's how that was going to work. And I spent all my money on points too. That was actually kind of silly. All right, let's gear out the ship real quick here. Let's see. I'll grab. Maybe grab one of these. Oops. And let's see, weathered power cell. I think our power cell is decent. We could grab one of these. Bear thruster. Weapon. I might be able to show off a different weapon at least. We'll grab this double cannon. I'm not sure if I ever used a double cannon. There's an interesting thing where, depending on what stats you have, kind of determines what kind of weapon drops you get. It tries to gear towards weapons that you can use immediately. I actually like having the stat boosts on these as well. This will probably be good. Oh, did that not? Did I not do that? Oh, there we go. Cause you see here, like everything has like a stat requirement and different mechanics on it. All right, I think that's good. And I guess we'll just go into, because if I go to grade 2, these are all gonna be like super high level, right? I will show off one of these little story sequences while we're at it. So the game is littered with these kind of like comic book style story sequences. I haven't gotten super invested in the story, but it does seem to be pretty significant. So we have a delivery to make. Kind of working as a bit of a mercenary right now. We'll get a very unique blueprint. Huh. And she'll give us a very rare piece of equipment. Interesting. Alright, I don't think I can do a grade 2 right now. That like 11... Oh, parasitic shell is the upgrade it'll give. That's interesting. So I guess I'll do, as I lose my voice, my apologies. I guess I'll do, is this the one I was doing at the time when I died? I want to show off like a different, different background if possible. There's another of the, let's see what this one does. If we go to this Midnight Express one, we'll go through this little story sequence too. Well, this is certainly turning into a longer video now. Isaac, I believe, is the guy that kind of runs the Ark. That's ominous. Plenty of shady people around these parts. Oh, we've already met Ginger. I think I was supposed to do that story sequence first. Whoops. Yeah. Okay, so she's talking about the trade route to run. Yeah, advanced piece of tech for the ship. 5 armor plates. Oh, so we just have to bring 5 armor plates. Huh, and then drop the items through your airlock. Interesting. Yeah, I haven't done this type of mission, so let's try that. We can actually go to the market and pick up the free armor plates, I think, to do this. Where are those, right here? Yeah. I don't know if they have to be different types, but here we go. We'll get those 5 here. And then let's go do that mission, see what that's like. Drop the package at the right time. You have to pause the game to airlock items. Huh, okay. Let's try this. This is going to be a pretty high level mission. I might die here, but we'll give it a shot. I think my weapon is going to be pretty weak. Alright, so we have this the cannon, I believe. Oh, that's pretty nice. I actually like that weapon a little more than the dual Gatling I had. Now we do have our skills, and our skills, as far as I know, are not necessarily static level, but they are based on stats, and my stats are pretty decent, so. Oh, you also see too, there's a little ring at the center of my ship. That's my hitbox. You can turn that on and off. I actually turned it on for testing purposes. Yeah, this double cannon for being like maybe a third of the power of my old weapon is not bad. I am, again, much lower powered here now, though. So yeah, I you know, to kind of wrap up, I'll probably end the video after this. That, finding out that automatic retreat can get a cooldown like that, I think that should be way better explained. I probably should have been able to infer that that's how the cooldown would work. But the game puts a huge, extremely strong emphasis on having that skill so you don't lose your ship. So to not tell me that that's going to happen is, after all the tutorialization of like, as long as you have this skill you're safe, that's definitely like, that's a bit of a bummer. Especially getting one shot. I mean, I could have made it out of there if I had remembered I had that revival, but yeah, that's brutal. And like I said, I think there are some issues with the kind of the audio bounce and the oomph of some things. I would like to hear like more sound effects. There's not a lot of firing or impact sound effects, basically, even though they are there. But overall, my impressions are pretty positive on it. I will say a little lower now from that ship loss issue, but that is part of the game. Yeah, overall I'd say it's pretty positive. They have been doing a lot of updates. There's already been like 4 patches for just like bug fixes and tweaks to the gameplay and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm hoping the developers are going to continue to support it. If you are interested in checking it out, it is right now it's $15 on Steam. I think it's going to be 18 when it is off its opening week sale. It's gonna be, the sale's going on until June 19th. But yeah, like I said, overall, you know, generally positive impressions. Some things I would like to see improved. Maybe getting into more advanced or more varied enemy types and such earlier in the game, I think would help a lot. Some people might get super invested in the story. Maybe a little easier controller navigation, things like that, I think would help quite a bit. So, but if you're looking for, like, you know, a Darius Twin or a Gradius 3, you know, with some Diablo loot in it, I mean, this might be your thing. I've obviously put in a few hours myself so far. I'll probably continue to play it, you know, a little bit more off camera and things like that. Oh, I don't have my shield. I totally didn't realize I had not equipped that. But yeah, here's the flame blade. You can see that. It's just that kind of like forward burst of energy there. Yeah, I was thinking I still have my shield. Alright, let's sneak on through here. That's actually going to make this really sketchy. Alright, let's heal up here. That was very close to being death. So I'm going to have to play really carefully here. Repair's almost coming back off cooldown again. There we go. Alright, so I asked to get to the airlock, and how do I do this? Oh wait, they have to be in the hold. Oh, I didn't add them to the hold. Well, I'm gonna guess that that's gonna cause me to fail the mission, but alright, well that's my bad. I did not realize I had actually... I should have known, but I did not actually put them into my ship. Mission failed. Bummer. Do we still get the rewards, though? Do I still get my experience and my money and all that? We do, okay. And this share, this 10%, you actually can increase that. But yeah, so that's Drifting Lands. A little more of a mixed review than I originally thought I was going to give it. But I think overall it's fun. I think there's some really good ideas here. If they continue to tweak it, improve it, I could definitely see this being something, you know, I would play a lot more. It's something that would be like, you know, really kind of get people into shmups and things like that. So again, mixed impressions, but I think it's pretty cool. If you want to check it out for yourself, click the link below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.